bullets in the night or day. And tell them to keep them away, cause you don't want no breeding ground. So make sure you cover buckets and drums. Get rid of useless containers, those that make a like water. Ensure your drains are free flow. These are good things to know. We got to partner together. We're urging everyone to do their part today, because together we can make it better. This threat we must eradicate. Everybody, do your part right now. Do your part right now. We're urging everybody. Do your part right now. Do your part right now. Na, na, na. Everybody, do your part right now. Do your part right now. We're urging everybody. Do your part right now. Do your part right now.
Brought to you by Paho and Live Up. Love, protect, respect.
Good morning, GQ. Good morning to those of you listening via radio, internet, or whatever social media platform. I am Alric Edwards, Inspector of Police, and the host for today's program, Policing with You. This morning, my guests are Mr. Miguel Fleming, who is the Agriculture Officer and Head of the Livestock Unit, and Ms. Delisha Huggins, who is a Livestock Extension Officer with responsibility for small ruminants, both from the Ministry of Agriculture. We are here this morning to have a brief conversation about agriculture and to demonstrate in not so many words the strong relationship between the Ministry of Agriculture and the relationship between the police department. This morning conversation will be a very healthy and fruitful one. 3 topics will be the center of our conversation this morning. These topics are period larceny of cattle, killing of an animal with intent to steal. And I'll try to explain each one. Period larceny and the act relating to this offense is chapter 4.25, which is the period larceny preventative act. But we can also find this offense in the Larceny Act chapter 4.16 section 12. Under this act, period larceny is any plant, tree, root, fruit, vegetable or agricultural production growing in or upon any land which is used or capable of being used, whether after treatment or otherwise, as food or as an ingredient in food for man, or cultivated grass for beasts, or B, any cattle or carcass, skin or any part of the cattle. And under this piece of legislation, this Larceny Act, larceny of cattle is section 5 of the Larceny Act, and defines cattle as to include horses, asses, mules, kine, which are kind of cattle, sheep, goat, deer, and swine, as well as all horned cattle. And killing of an animal with intent to steal is section 6 of the Larceny Act. It defines as any person willfully kills any animal with intent to steal the carcass, skin, or any part of the animal commits an offense under this piece of legislation. So in cases like these, person being found with items of this nature either steals it or you possess it unlawfully, which is unlawful possession. I'll go straight into the answer and question segment of this program. Question number 1: what are the roles and responsibility? What? Anyone? What are the roles and responsibility?
Alicia, you can go.
No,
Okay, my roles and responsibility at the Department of Agriculture is to, lead the livestock unit, and I'm also responsible for the project at Barefoot in Monk Hill in St. Peter's. And this role is very important, to lead the unit, because we have recognized the amount of meat products that we import from overseas, and we think that we have the capability to displace meat coming in from overseas. Even if it's not 100%, at least we can try to displace a certain percentage. And I'll stop there for now and let Delisha continue.
Good morning, everyone, and hello to the listening and viewing public. Like Alec would have mentioned, my name is Delisha Huggins, and I'm the Small Ruminant, the extension officer that's responsible for Small Ruminants. My role at the department is not one, but many hats. But most importantly, my job is to go out and educate the farmers of small ruminants about their agricultural practices, how to improve production, education in different ways to help increase production, the operations, how they're set up to maximize production, anything that relates to small ruminants, deworming, ear tagging. Like I said, anything once it relates to small ruminants, farmers call me and I go, even if it's just to, sometimes what I realize other farmers just want some interaction. They want your view, they want your input, and that's where I come in.
Thank you, I guess. You spoke about small ruminants. Mm-hmm. Can you explain a little more on small ruminants? What is small ruminants?
Small ruminants are animals. You have large and small. It relates to the digestive system. These are animals that have 4 stomachs. So you have the abomasum, which is the 4th stomach. It's not a normal digestive system like a dog and a cat. We have multiple stomachs where the food passes through, they bring it back up, they ruminate. That's what you call chewing your cud. They bring it back up and they chew it again. These cover sheep and goats. Mm-hmm. Like I said, cattle would be considered a ruminant, but it's large because of this size.
Thank you, Ms. Huggins. What is the relationship between your department and the police, and how do you work together?
Right now, I can say that I'm not sure how the relationship was in the past. I'm not sure how the relationship was in the past, but presently we're trying to foster a greater relationship between the police and the Department of Agriculture, because we have had a lot of issues in relation to land, mm-hmm. people fighting over land, and even sometimes none of them have documents for the land, but they're still fighting for the land, right? And animal theft, some of this stuff that you mentioned, that is a serious issue. Even dog bites, because nobody wants to claim the dog, when it causes damage, right?
Not only that, not give me 1 second.
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
It's not only about nobody wanting to claim the dog. You have persons who go with the intention for the dog to feed on
right.
people's livestock, and for me that's a grave concern, because that affects productivity. If you take your dog to where somebody animals are grazing, and you put that dog, it throws down a lot of animals, and so that person now loses 10 animals and even more, because oftentimes the female animals are pregnant, so that's double, so
double loss.
Yeah, double loss. So it's a matter that I am trying to address. We are currently, I don't know if I'm going ahead of myself, but we are currently looking at putting a panel together to address the same theft and dog bite, because the small ruminant dog attacks, because the small ruminant farmers are crying out, especially now when it's Christmas season approaching. You'll have an increase of that. So it's not, like I said, it's not only about people, dog not wanting to be responsible for the animal that attacks, but the persons who go out deliberately and put their animals. I've had cases where, you know, a farmer in St. Peter's area said to me, you know, I went out in the field and I was talking to him, and he said, you know, I came up here the other day and a guy brought his pit bull, and I stood there and watched him put the pit bull on a car and my calf. So I said to him, why didn't you say something? He said, Alicia, is just me and him alone up here in the mountain, you know. And I guess for me, that's your first response, to call out the person. But after digesting what he said, I could relate, because you know, that's a quite, you know, opportunity present itself. It's just him, and you know, you never know what he might do. Yeah, with a Rottweiler. So I mean a pit bull, but yeah, that is one of the things.
But we want greater collaboration for sure between the police and the Department of Agriculture, because we are not peace officers at the Department of Agriculture, but we can lend that support to the police because we know the farmers, right? We know what is allowed and what is not allowed, right? And if we can have some kind of task force created, you know, even with the panel that Delicia is talking about, I think after that we can have something greater. Because you know, I mean, if we are saying that we want to displace, everybody now is talking about local, right? But if we are saying that we want to displace what we're importing, we can't do that if persons that are going out, people stealing people animals, and it's hard when you don't put in all that work, whether it is to buy, you know, feed and vitamins and medication and all those stuff, and then somebody just come and benefit from that. You see?
Wow. Let me ask a question about marking. How do you mark an animal?
You have multiple ways. For small ruminants, the practice over the years would have been tagging, ear tagging. But people are now so bold, they'll cut the ear off.
Right.
You know. Some we've considered tattooing, but I think it cannot be just a one prong up. It has to be multiple. You know, you can tag and you can tattoo, but if the person steals the animal and slaughters it, they would dress it, so the skin would be removed, the head would be removed, because there's some in race horses, they tattoo the inside of the gum. So if you lift up the lip of the horse, you'll see the number. There's some persons who talk about branding, but all of these methods, if the animal is slaughtered, you would only benefit if the person steals the animal and keeps it alive.
Right.
And you know where to find it. Mm-hmm. There's also microchipping, just as we do with dogs, but the same thing. You can know where the microchip is and dig it out. Yeah. So everything.
You want to look at a cost-effective.
Cost-effective, yeah. But some people would consider microchipping the breeders. Right. But like I said, if you slaughter the animal, it takes away everything. The skin is removed, the head is removed. So, I mean, I still encourage people to tag them, ear tag them, hoping that it would deter persons from doing it. But if you're going to thief, that's the bottom line.
But the most important thing is that whatever we put forward, at least it can help to reduce it, even if it does not cover it totally, but reduce.
Mm-hmm.
Miguel spoke about task force, and I like that suggestion.
Yes,
a person doesn't have to be attached 24/7 to a task force. A task force can be operational in a split of a second. So a person may just have to have some kind of instrument from the commissioner of police, from the probably the colonel. You know, so I'm saying a soldier, a police, probably a customs enforcement officer,
yes.
So and some agriculture, you know, and then we come together and we do these things in the mountain. So that
I totally agree with that. For a number of reasons. One, you want to have people, the same people. So, you know, not today we go to report a case and then we have to deal with somebody else and we start all over again. Right. If you have a task force, these persons would have an idea of what we are dealing with, the issues that we are dealing with. And sometimes it's not about apprehension and stuff. Sometimes it's about conflict resolution, because true. officers, I'm certain, would have been trained in those areas, and much better than maybe Miguel and I would have been. And sometimes Miguel earlier made mention of land disputes. I can recall one time before we went into species specific, I'm often, because Dr. Henry, as the head vet at the department dealing with ambulatory services, would have spoken to me about going out into the field alone. I didn't have a concern about that, but again, upon digesting it, I saw where he was coming from. So now I go out in the field with a land management officer, compliance officer, who deals mainly with land issues. And while we were out one time, we had a young lady with us who had a matter with land. She was given the information about getting land, and it never, she didn't identify the area. And we went to settlers trying to help her to find land. And when we got there were these guys working in a field over from us. I'm assuming they made a call, and this other guy came, and the guy is the young lady's cousin. So we're trying to find out from him, like, whose land are these and stuff. And he was like, all the lands up here are being used. And we're watching the land full of cane field, full of bushings up, and he started getting on. And instances like those, you really need an intervention with the police, because I'm certain if he had seen an officer there, he would not have come and behaved like that. Even though I showed him, I said, you see the logo that's on this pickup, this is a government. We are government officers trying to get our work done. But I'm saying, like, the presence of a police officer, I think we would have had a different approach, a response from the young man. So I truly believe in the task force. And like I said, having the same persons dealing with the cases that we have in agriculture, it gives you a better, instead of you having to go to explain to an officer every time you go a new one, you just call and the task force and
we plan to restructure.
That's a really
we are planning to restructure what we have going on now in terms of land and all these different type of things, right? And we can't do that without it. I don't think we can do that easily without the task force, because I don't think that no officer should put their life at risk, right? And they don't have that support. So I think that in order for us, and persons really act like the land belongs to them. Like, they only have to hear that you're planning to come for it, or to redistribute it. They send a tractor to harrow it, and it's not touched again for another 2 years, 3 years. When you come back again for it, the same thing all the time, nothing. And that hinders the progress of development.
Yeah, but the task force too, because of the issues with the land, because these are real. People will tell you, the lands belong to the government, the land belongs to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and the government manages them. But at the same time, it doesn't give you the right, because a lot of people feel like, oh, my mother worked this land, or my grandmother worked this land, the grandmother dead years now. They feel like they're entitled to land. That is not how it works. And I think the task force is a process, and I think the task force can adjust that. We can do sensitize the public about how these things are done, and the land is not passed down to you, So the task force can cover even the land issues and this sensitizing of the public in regards to that, and having them come to the department and we have a conversation, because at the same time, even though that's not how it goes, government has the right to go and give somebody else the land, even though you're a grandmother, but you still don't want to do it in that way,
Right.
You want to give people a chance, to have a dialogue and express whether they're interested, and okay, we can give you peace, but we'll give somebody, have a dialogue. I think it's most important.
Yeah, it's important.
People tend to appreciate you more when you involve them, you give them that, you take that kind of approach.
Yeah, thank you. And let us break at this juncture for a word from our sponsors. Upon our return, we'll open the lines and solicit calls in from the general public. Thank you.
Welcome Welcome to Bastia Art Gallery and Restaurant, located at North Independence Square Street in the heart of Old Bastia. We are open for breakfast, lunch and dinner. The fresh food and friendly faces will make you feel like a star that you deserve to be. Our chef, with over 20 years of experience in fine dining European restaurants, will surprise you with the best of culinary delights from old Europe. And our multi-talented local chef will treat you with the classics of St. Kitts and the Caribbean. Special prices for groups are available. Come and enjoy the best of Kittitian and European cuisine in one place. For your reservation, call us at 661-6877. Rain or shine, it's time to dine.
Hold on, stop. Think about the drink before you take a drop. Read up on the label on the back. They say science, sugar, low in fat. But don't be fooled by that. Drink some water, chase some love. Tell your body you're sweet enough. Drink some water, chase some love. Tell somebody you're sweet enough. Drink some water, chase some love. Tell your body you're sweet enough. Drink some water, chase some love. Tell somebody, yeah.
This message is brought to you by Lake Health and Wellbeing.
Experience the value. Get the cable's value bundle today. Internet, Ultra TV, free HBO Max, and a free Cable Platinum Loyalty MasterCard for only $157 monthly. Feel the thrill of 74 channels of Ultra TV. Feel the rush of the cable's 35 megabyte Bolt Internet. Maximum streaming entertainment is free with HBO Max and the ultra convenience of the Platinum Loyalty MasterCard. Shop, save, share, and don't forget, get a free internet upgrade when you pay your cable bills with Platinum Loyalty MasterCard. Not a cable customer? Sign up today and get more out of your internet, TV, shopping, and payment experience. The cable's value bundle, Ultra TV, internet, free HBO Max, and Platinum Loyalty MasterCard at $250 value for only $157 per month. Call the cable 465-2588 and come experience the value.
Thank you, GQ. To what extent is last name issue? For the last name.
Grave. That's it. It's a serious. It's a grave extent. I mean, theft is
especially in small women.
Because
it's harder to see the cattle.
Yeah, it's easier.
You could have a goat in a bucket.
A thing, and then
tape up your mouth, tape up your foot, then you're going with it. So you got persons that actually literally sleep in the animal pen, in the pen, every night, just to prevent people from stealing the animals. So it's a serious issue.
That's the level that they reach, because you know, an animal can go into, you could put a sheep in a cocker's bag.
And you're going with it. But if you could put it under, you remember yourself.
But you may not want to come out the mountain with it. So you go up with a bucket, I slot it up there, take out the belly and so.
Yep.
And put it in a bucket.
And especially now, we're coming on to the end of the year. As Delisha mentioned earlier, we're going to see those, we're going to get more and more complaint about that issue. You know, and we have that for crops as well. It's not reported as much. Maybe we don't hear it as much since we are focusing on livestock, but it happens in every aspect in agriculture. It's a very serious issue.
We've had cases. I was working at the abattoirs, the anti-mortem inspection, and you had cases where police had to come because this person is claiming that this animal is theirs, so we can't slaughter it because we need the persons to come to sort out who right and who wrong. Even at one time there was a cattle where the guy take it up, bring it down there, then an inspector came and said the cattle belonged to him, and we had to get the police involved. So it's a serious thing. You've had people who come because we accept animals at the abattoir on Sundays to slaughter them on Mondays. So you had persons coming on Sunday to check to make sure the missing animals, so they come in to see at the abattoir if we would have received any of their stolen animals. So it's a serious problem.
But what if you mark an animal with the ear marking.
But if you cut off the ear, then
well, you cut off the ear, so you don't have any other marking. But you usually greet the animal in the morning with a
normally,
gesture.
That is how we oftentimes realize that the animal belongs to the person else. Because each farmer has their unique way of communicating with their animals. So you would find that if I steal Miguel's animal, because Miguel is accustomed of probably calling them, snapping his finger. You come to the abattoir and you snap your finger and you see the animal respond. What I encourage farmers to do is try to take a picture of your flock, your animals, whether together or individually, so that I can say, well, this is my animal. See, I oftentimes, when I go, there are farmers who I communicate with often. So I too would have some knowledge, I can tell from, how the animal look, the care that goes into the animal. You could tell.
But Delisha,
who's farm it's
the thing about it, right, is that even if you come up with systems where you want to prevent theft, right, we just don't need to announce it. I think sometimes we announce everything. We don't need to announce it. If the farmer really want to protect his flock, let's say we put in the microchip. He don't need to tell everybody that they could never know that there's a microchip in there, because if we come and we take the animal, there's a microchip reader. They don't even need to see when we read the animal to see who it belongs to, right? Because they won't know. They will just wonder, well, how they know it ain't mine?
But you have to be careful with the microchip too, because
I just use that as an example.
No, but in that we have to do a bit of education in terms of the microchip, because they have some farmers who truly think that the microchip, once the dog or the animal is microchip, it is a GPS that we could go on the computer and they don't understand. It's
just
it's just
only
that
when we find it.
have the chip in the animal, and if the animal is found, there is a scanner. You scan at the back wherever you would have inserted the chip, and it would read and it tells you who the name of the person come up. But I have to often explain to farmers that it's not a GPS, because we can't say we're going to go and put in something and we pick up with the location of the animal. So I think most farmers would want the microchip, because they feel that there's a GPS component to it. So we have to do some education in that aspect.
Yeah, as a police, right, we every so often police through the last act, where we find people with goods that we know that you don't have a ground, but you find you with these things. And what we tend to do is to charge for unlawful possession, because you have to prove that what you say you have, you actually grew it. Yeah, so we use that here. It's real tedious, because even if you report that you had some jelly on your cheek, and you says jelly gone, or jelly look alike. So how come you see the position? So we don't have to charge for a lot of position. You prove that you have jelly in the yard. You know what I mean? So it's a real.
I think with crops, I think it would be a little more difficult, ticklish with crops, but with animals, it is ticklish with animals too, because of the identification process. But like I said, it depends. I mean, if we have a person who we don't have him registered, there's nobody at the department who ever interacted with this individual as a farmer, but then someday one day you just pop up and you have these animals. How do you explain that? Like, so where did these animals? There must be a farmer somewhere who can come and say, well, I sold this person. If there's no receipt, there must be. And that's something I encourage farmers to do. Whether you're buying or selling, always have a paper trail, a receipt to say, well, I would have sold someone, this animal. But people just, I mean, we have a case right now where this person, there was a video going on with the person stealing people's animal. Farmers would have called Alicia, you see this video, and what I didn't see the video, but this person is going around stealing people's animal, and the farmers were getting really irate. There's some of those farmers who said anyhow they catch anybody in the yard, what they're going to do, and what I don't want it to reach to that.
True.
So I'm really trying to get the help of the police, but people who tend to do that, and then this person was on this video stealing animals, pop up with animals. He doesn't have a farm. We don't know him as a farmer. These are situations you're confronted with, and we really need some intervention from the police with that.
That brings me to this question. Are farmers in some areas affected more than others?
Well, for small ruminants, not everybody. Everybody get a little touch off. I formed a small ruminant group over in the east side. It was from Brighton to the Parsons. We formed a small ruminant group, and one night we were having a meeting, and one of them came and said he was late because 37 of his animals went. So he was trying to look, and so I said, he said he don't want to jump to somebody stealing them right away. So he's gonna give it. Up to this day, they haven't returned. Somebody's on a thief 37 animals. It means that you have a vehicle. You have a vehicle. There's a farmer in Connery area who said these people, they would monitor the animals during the day and they come back in the night with vehicles. You have so many reports. Farmers come to me all the time with instances, and they're calling names, but I can't just go to the person. I don't want to, so I'm trying to find ways, like I said, we need the task force for us to be educated as how to deal with these things. A legal officer to tell us, what laws are on the books for us to deal with these things. One farmer told me in some of the other Caribbean countries, I don't know who it is, but you're not allowed to travel with an animal in your trunk or something like that. So I don't know, because he's saying if a police stop you and you have 3 goats in your trunk, he's saying that the police should be able to ask a question, and
but that should never be allowed anywhere in the world because of welfare, animal welfare.
Yeah, but we do it. We have a lot of welfare issues that anyone who knows me know I'm passionate about. So we have a lot of issues about welfare, and we need to start reinforcing a lot. The laws are there, but they're not reinforced, and that's something we're also looking at right now.
Thank you, Ms. Hogan. Do you guys add any calls? Let's continue. How can farmers better protect their animals?
I'll say farmers need to invest in themselves. For example, I usually, when we're in our meetings, I usually ask the question, if you're going to start a business, right, and you have the potential to get robbed, right, you should, get higher security, right? So you don't just go and say I'm buying goat, sheep, and I'm just going to tie them out there without having a night pen, a catching area, and some dog-proof area and those type of stuff, because it's not just from people, because you asked the question about protecting the animals. So I'm looking at it from all angles now, from dogs and from people stealing the animals. So you need to be ready to invest.
Yes, caller, we listening?
Yes, good morning.
Morning, sir.
I just want to ask a little question. Why is it you all give farmers license for gun, right? The farmers don't have the gun. Now they can't use them because it's maybe something. They're reporting to all the stations. I know one person report to all the stations about thieving, catch the man real-handed, and up to now the man still want the men them who he catch still on the street. He went court with one, win the case. The man still on the street. Now they checking the man. So what the reason he have a license gun? What the gun for? Please let me know after the year. Thank you.
Well, the gun is to protect him from any any violence. Because he has the right to defend himself. But you cannot use the gun for any for willy-nilly, because I feel like I have a gun, I could use it. That's not the reason for having the weapon. And you can use the weapon in the case of monkeys and so to basically if there's but you have to shoot the monkeys, but you have to be able to your background, the way you shoot the round into must be safe. You can't just shoot ad hocly, just willy-nilly. So you have to be able to, whenever you, because the round that one will discharge has no control once you discharge it, and so you must be able to justify the reason why you fire that round, right? But
so if the man, if somebody is caught red-handed, it's what if he shoots the individual? He can't shoot.
You can't shoot the person.
Are you life in danger?
You can't. Your life
he
in danger.
in danger. Oh,
the reason for using a weapon is to protect yourself from violence,
bodily,
from body injuries. So you just can't see a man thieving your weapon, thieving your animal, and say, "Well, kill." No, it can't happen. So you will be charged for murder.
Okay.
If you see the person, you report it to the police. The police will come and deal with it, and that is the reason for the task force. And then you could easily mobilize the police to investigate. A police will be on top of the task force to do all those investigation.
But that's where the frustration is coming from a lot of the farmers, because the farmers now are saying they go, like the man just said, they go to the station and it's like nobody is paying them any money because it's just an animal. But this is in some instances it's people's livelihood.
Caller, we listening? Caller, we listening?
Oh, yes. Good morning. Good morning to all.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, I was listening. In relation to people stealing the animals, if you mark the animals by whatever mean, wouldn't that be a help? That if somebody steal an animal and they shop somewhere, I mean, you have a particular mark on your animal, that I mean, you'll be able to identify that animal?
Yes, oftentimes you can, but like I said earlier, it depends on the marking, because the ear tagging, like I said earlier, people cut off the animal ear.
But he's saying if it's there, once it's there.
Once it's there, definitely the person, we have the numbers are always in sequence. So once you tag an animal, it will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I find an animal with 5, and it sometimes the tags are colored. So if I have blue tags and 1, 2, 3, 4, they're in sequence, and you take my animal and it has 5, I can come and say, well, I can show you the other animals that have.
Okay.
That is only in the case if the identification mark or the tagging is remains.
Yeah. Caller, we listening?
Yeah, I'm back again.
Yes, sir.
You say about the shooting, you only could shoot monkey. But what happened now? Listen, he had an incident, right, with the same partner. He have a license gun. He meet 2 fellas in the ground. Now, they're coming out, in the ground, coming out. You see them. One jet the gun first, half jet the gun, leg was shot. But what happened now? The gun jam. So the gun then jam, what happened to that farmer? So where they got, and he reported, the man up to now, the man not getting jail. So he got gun in the waist and he nearly dead with the gun in the waist.
Isn't that bodily?
So he went to all the police station, he went to the ministers them, and nobody do nothing. And the man got a license gun, so we got the license gun for. You say shoot monkey. No shoot a monkey, you can't shoot a monkey and man destroy your street.
So,
that can't be right.
So
now you gonna tell him me gonna get jail because me shoot. You say defend yourself. So you wait till a man could attack you, defend yourself. You make the man with hand in your ground. The man come to you about 60 times, none of you do nothing.
The situation you spoke of earlier isn't the situation you just talked about.
Yes, but I hear you talk about the shooting and so I come back now.
Yes, I understand that. But the situation is totally different in this case. And so...
How many times you meet different people in the ground and we report it. But this one now, he nearly lose his life.
Just remember that when one uses his firearm, he has to justify the reason for his using it. So... A police officer won't be there when you are tried for whatever you're charged for. And so you have to be able to justify your reason for using your firearm. If there's a situation where you alluded to in the second situation we just talk about, then we understand the reason for you using your firearm. But not just because you feel like I got a gun, use my gun. Hey, so you go. You cannot happen so. I understand the situation, I understand the frustration.
So
but
why is it now okay? Why is it IUM put something in place? Because many times they catch the things they catch with red-handed, right? Then agriculture, government saying they ain't got no place to store nothing. So when come to the case, they ain't got no proof because all the things we don't eat them off or they don't rotten. Why is it when I don't catch them, we keep a case one time, than to go all on 6 months or so when the things them don't rotten?
Because produce are perishable. They're really expedited. So that is something that happens all the time. Once we find people with perishable goods, we charge them for lawful possession and we carry them before the court.
Yeah, but when you reach the court now, they say nothing there, no evidence. If the man got a good lawyer, we don't see a man meet a man with 4 bag of points and he lose the case. That he said no evidence there. The lawyer said no evidence there. So what in place for that?
I don't know about that situation, sir. Are there any callers? Yeah, listen, sir. Caller, we listening?
Go ahead.
Caller, we listening?
Hello?
Hello, caller, we listening?
Yes. In terms of animal care, there are instances where we will call the vet for assistance. And I know that some of us are trained in taking care of our animals. But how does the agriculture department go about assisting farmers in getting to their animals? With that said, some farmers have difficulties getting to the road, especially in present where we have heavy rainfall and the roads are badly damaged. And even persons with four-wheel drive have difficulties getting to their farm. Yes, what I will say that it's the farmer's responsibility to get that road clear. But is there any assistance from the agriculture department into helping to maintain these roads so it's easier access to the farms? Also, what are in place in terms of improving breeds in St. Kitts, whether it's ruminant or large animal? Thank you.
Okay. Yes, thank you for your questions, Bucky. In terms of the road, we have an engineering unit. It is something that we have been doing for quite some time, going around the island and maintaining the roads. However, recently we have been experiencing some difficulties in getting, the machines back on the road due to, mechanical issues. And once that is, up and running again, I think we'll be able to provide that assistance. In regards to the breeds,
it's not only about mechanical because of the rain, the constant rains.
Yeah, but now we can't. No, we're not going out at all.
Oh.
Yeah. And so in regards to the breeds, though, we have the goat breeding program, and we have recently distributed 22. Cross, with the purebred, cross with our local animals. And I think the farmers, can in short order, they'll be able to see the difference because we want to improve, the quality of animals that goes to the abattoir. I think Delisha can attest to, some of the animals that she has seen when she used to be at the abattoir doing antemortem inspection. And in terms of cattle, in 2022 we are planning to do greater collaboration with Ross University so we can do artificial insemination with some of the best breeds from in the United States and maybe the UK or other parts of the world, because it's quite costly to even bring in these breeds. So with the semen, it's much cheaper and easier to transport. So that would be happening shortly.
Thank you. Final call. Call, are we listening?
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, I'm good.
Look, listening the program, the one gun. Farmer has done. One gun.
Can you please start a cover? We are here.
You can't hear me?
Right, we hear better now. Thank you.
Huh?
We're hearing you better now.
I was saying, if the farmer have to shoot the gun and the bullet come out and it one listener, if he had the gun, he never been shoot at them, but because he hit them first. What happened to that? You understand what I mean?
No, we're not hearing you.
We're not hearing you clearly.
I mean, I'm saying that the situation with farmer have begun.
Yes.
You hear that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the other one had a gun. But then the farmer will come in. No, the farmer see them, but they means farmer. So he not gonna shoot at them, but he gonna like fire the gun that they know. But if the bullet catch one of them in the tower, what? Once
you use a firearm, you have to justify the reason for using it. So if I unintentionally hit somebody with my a projectile in the use of my gun, firearm, then I have to justify it. I have to go before the court and explain the reason why I used it. So the best, well, what I'll tell you to do is to, once you use your firearm, to make sure that you're able to justify your action before you use it. That's what I'll tell you. Because you have to answer to it. Anything closing?
Did I share on go first? Okay. I would like to, thank Mr. Edwards and, ZIZ, and the listening audience, so, taking the time to, to hear us out. And we think that, this step is important. And we are hoping, for greater collaboration between, the police and the Department of Agriculture, because, agriculture is important, but more important than ever. So we hope that, these issues that we have, we can solve them in short order with some of the things that we discuss. And, the listening public and the farmers as well can be assured that, we are working and trying our best to ensure that, their issues, their problems are not just dealt with from a technical standpoint, but with all the resources that we have and the collaboration that we can bring together to, for the betterment of agriculture in St. Kitts and Nevis.
Thank you, Mr. Fleming. And you, Mr. Fleming?
I would like, just like Mr. Fleming, thank the callers and ZIZ and yourself as well for this opportunity to start the process with the sensitization of different areas in agriculture and different efforts that are being made, to get us to a place that we ought to be, in a direction we ought to be going, especially now with the pandemic. Food security is a major focus more than ever. It would have been in the past, but it's more than ever now because we see what can happen. And I was happy to be a part of this step. So I want to thank you all, thank the callers for the questions. I'm asking the callers and the farmers to continue listening to the radio stations so they can give their input, because without them we don't have a job. So we still need them, we still need their feedback, we still need their questions. So, I want to thank you all again for this opportunity.
And I want to thank you. Well, this topic this morning was a very lively one. That's the reason for this program in general. It is the intent of the Police High Command to produce topics such as the one we had this morning, to sensitize the agricultural community of the relationship we have between the two departments, namely the police department and the agriculture department. I want to thank you. I know it's the time of the year and you're very busy, and I want to thank you for coming this morning. I want to thank you, GQ, for being the reliable moderator that you have always been weekly. I want to thank the management staff of the ZIZ for having us here weekly also for this program. And for the callers, I want to thank the callers for calling in and posing the question that they posed. I want to also encourage the person who are thinking about calling, who are afraid of the public speaking, to call in. Just put over yourself the way you can put. We will understand.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter how you sound. Just speak.
Ask the question.
You would ask it. We will figure it out. Right. I want to thank you guys again for listening and see you guys next week, Thursday. Thank you.
What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know.